What if the biggest difference between millionaires and everyone else wasn't talent, luck, or even income? What if the real difference was simply the assets they own? Most people spend their lives chasing money. Millionaires spend their lives buying assets. And that single shift in thinking changes everything. Because assets are things that put money into your pocket, even when you're not working. While the average person buys liabilities, things that drain money wealthy, people quietly accumulate assets that grow their wealth year after year. In this video, we'll explore 10 powerful assets that have helped millions of people build real wealth. Some of these assets are well known. Others are surprisingly overlooked. But every single one of them has helped ordinary people become financially independent. Let's start with the first one. Asset number 1, stocks. One of the most powerful wealth-building assets in history is stocks. When you buy a stock, you're buying a small piece of a company. That means when the company grows, your wealth grows with it. Companies like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and Tesla created thousands of millionaires. But here's something important. Most millionaires didn't become rich by trading stocks every day. They became wealthy by investing long-term. For example, someone who invested just $10,000 in Apple in 2004 would have millions today. The key isn't timing the market. The key is time in the market. Millionaire investors follow 3 simple rules. They invest consistently. They think long-term. They stay patient. Stocks are powerful because they allow your money to grow even while you sleep. But stocks are just the beginning. Let's move to the second asset. Asset number 2, real estate. Real estate has created more millionaires than almost any other asset. Why? Because real estate generates wealth in 3 different ways. First, property values tend to increase over time. Second, rental properties generate monthly income. Third, investors can use leverage, meaning they can buy large assets with relatively small amounts of money. For example, a person might buy a rental property with a 20% down payment. Tenants then pay rent every month, covering the mortgage and sometimes even generating profit. Meanwhile, the property value continues to rise. Over time, investors can repeat this process and build an entire portfolio of properties. This is why many wealthy people say real estate is the closest thing to passive income. But not everyone wants to deal with tenants, repairs, and maintenance. That's why the third asset is becoming extremely popular. Asset number 3, businesses. Owning a business is one of the fastest ways to build wealth. Instead of earning money through a job, a business allows you to earn money through systems and customers. Think about companies like Starbucks, McDonald's, Nike, Amazon. These companies generate millions or even billions of dollars every year. Of course, most people won't build companies that large, but even small businesses can create significant wealth. Examples include e-commerce stores, digital agencies, consulting businesses, local service companies. What makes businesses powerful is that they can scale. Your income isn't limited by hours. It's limited only by how much value you create. Many millionaires start small businesses that eventually grow into valuable assets that can even be sold for millions of dollars. But business ownership isn't the only modern asset. The next one is rapidly becoming one of the most important assets of the digital age. Asset number 4, intellectual property. Some of the richest people in the world didn't become wealthy through buildings or factories. They became wealthy through ideas. Intellectual property includes things like books, online courses, software, music, patents, digital products. Once created, intellectual property can generate income for years. For example, a single book can sell millions of copies. A software app can generate recurring subscription revenue. An online course can sell thousands of times without additional effort. This is why many creators, developers, and entrepreneurs focus heavily on building intellectual property. Because once it exists, it can continue producing income again and again. And that's the power of digital assets. But there's another type of asset that many people overlook. And surprisingly, it might be the most important asset of all. Asset number 5, skills. Your skills are one of the most valuable assets you can ever own, because skills determine how much value you can create. And the more value you create, the more money you can earn. High-income skills include things like sales, marketing, programming, copywriting, public speaking, negotiation. These skills allow people to generate income anywhere in the world. Many millionaires didn't start with money. They started with skills that help them earn and invest money. Before we continue, let's quickly remember something important. Millionaires don't focus on how much they earn. They focus on what they own. Because income can stop, but assets can keep paying you for years. In part 1, we talked about stocks, real estate, businesses, intellectual property, and skills. Now let's continue with the next assets that help people quietly build wealth. Asset number 6, index funds. One of the simplest assets that has created millions of wealthy investors is index funds. An index fund is an investment that tracks a group of companies like the S&P 500. Instead of trying to pick individual stocks, investors simply buy the entire market. And historically, the stock market has grown around 8 to 10% per year on average. That means if someone invests consistently over time, their money can grow dramatically. For example, if you invest $500 per month into an index fund for 30 years, you could potentially accumulate hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. This strategy is popular because it's simple. You don't need to analyze hundreds of companies. You simply invest regularly and let time do the work. Many financial experts even recommend index funds as the foundation of long-term wealth. But investing money is only one way to build assets. The next one involves the power of the internet. Asset number 7, digital content. In today's world, digital content has become one of the fastest growing assets. Platforms like YouTube, podcasts, blogs, and social media allow people to create content that reaches millions. And once content is created, it can continue generating income through ads, sponsorships, affiliate marketing, product sales. For example, a single YouTube video can generate views for years. A blog post can attract traffic every day. A podcast episode can be downloaded thousands of times. Creators who consistently produce valuable content slowly build an audience, and that audience becomes an asset. Because attention is one of the most valuable currencies in the digital economy. But behind every successful entrepreneur or creator, there's another powerful asset. Asset number 8, network and relationships. Many people underestimate the value of relationships. But in reality, networks are one of the strongest wealth-building assets. Your network connects you to opportunities, investments, partnerships, knowledge. Think about it. Some of the biggest deals in the world happen not through advertisements, but through connections. When you surround yourself with ambitious, intelligent, and motivated people, your opportunities expand dramatically. This is why successful people invest time in networking, building partnerships, attending events, creating meaningful relationships. Because sometimes, the right connection can open doors that money alone cannot. But there's another asset that has become extremely powerful in the modern world. Asset number 9, personal brand. A personal brand is the reputation and influence you build over time. When people trust your expertise, your ideas, and your voice, your brand becomes an asset. Look at individuals like Elon Musk, Gary Vaynerchuk, Mr. Beast, Oprah Winfrey. Their names alone carry enormous value. Because people trust them. A strong personal brand can create opportunities such as business partnerships, speaking opportunities, product launches, media exposure. And the amazing thing is that anyone today can start building a personal brand through content, expertise, and consistency. The internet has made influence accessible to everyone, but the final asset is perhaps the most overlooked one of all. Asset number 10, time and systems. The most valuable asset in the world is time. But the wealthy understand something deeper. They don't just protect their time, they build systems. Systems allow work to continue even when you're not personally involved. For example, a business with employees becomes a system. Investments become financial systems. Automated online businesses become digital systems. When systems are in place, income becomes scalable. Instead of trading hours for money, people create structures that produce results automatically. This is the difference between working for money and having money work for you. And when multiple systems operate together, wealth can grow exponentially. Final message, powerful ending. At the end of the day, becoming a millionaire isn't about luck. It's about ownership. The average person spends their money. The wealthy invest their money into assets. Every dollar can either buy something that loses value or something that creates future wealth. And the earlier you start building assets, the more powerful the results become. Because time amplifies everything, small investments can turn into large fortunes. Simple ideas can grow into powerful businesses, and ordinary people can build extraordinary wealth. The question isn't whether these assets work. They already have for millions of people around the world.